Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dugout Mug Studios. This is the Variety Sports Network, and this is the seventh inning stretch.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another seventh inning stretch here on a Thursday night. Few games in the air. We got the Yankees again shutting out the Twins. We'll get into some of the recaps of the game. My A's not doing good. Going to get swept in a four-gamer against the Astros. We'll get into that a little bit as well. A lot of good things to get into in the MLB this week. Also, some things maybe we need to touch on that aren't so good. We'll hit all those topics here tonight on 7th Inning Stretch Variety Sports Network. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff, as you know. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here. Josh Edwards, your Cardinals, we ripped on them last week. They still were playing like a little not very good. Had a couple, need to play the Angels more often there with your Angels. That's always the key going forward. So we'll get into maybe some trade pieces with your team and some other pieces as well. How you doing out there, my friend?
Oh, we're making it, man. It's still getting rained on out here in Missouri. Like, rain, go away for real. I think we've had it feels like we've had a foot of rain over the last 10 days.
You guys been raining that much there?
Oh, my gosh. So, I live out in rural Missouri, and my parents have some property, and the lake has been up and down to the top of the dam for the last week.
Is it like close to flooding area, Josh, that we're out here?
I wouldn't, not in my area, but I'm sure if you live by one of the rivers, one of the many rivers that run through Missouri, God help you right now, because it seems like the rain's never going away.
Now a team that's maybe that's a little bit of in sync with your team, your Cardinals, that are flooding away, maybe possibly this season, another season there that we'll get into. Logan Stone out there gave us about 95 topics. Logan Stone, thank you for that, flooding us with topics. Love about there. He's back. Where's he back from? Europe? Where is he from? France? Everywhere. The man around the world. So hopefully he's joining us live tonight as well here on 7th Inning Stretch. Josh, I thought a good way for us to start would be like kind of our power rankings here. I'll have some stuff I'll have my rankings here at the bottom here. As we get Tyler Gerg on the show here. What's up, T? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys? I'm good to be on. I'm happy, excited.
What's up, buddy? You're happy.
How are you guys doing?
Your Giants aren't doing that good. You shouldn't be happy yet.
Hey, we beat the Dodgers once. That's an improvement. We got them one time.
Better than nothing. Tyler joining us in the bottom of the first tier. We like it. Maybe we got you here. I hope you're the home team. That's what we got tonight. Tyler, we're getting into power rankings. So that's where I had at the bottom. Like, this is a chance for us to kind of touch on a lot of where we want to go with the league and teams that are on our mind. For me, like some of the teams that still, like the Reds, have just been really stinking it up lately. They have been awful the last 6 series. I think they've lost all of them. And then you have the Twins that have been the opposite of the Reds, that have been absolutely on fire still. It's still, for me, the one thing that stands out, or my top 2 things are this. Those 3 teams in the AL Central that are hanging tough, the Royals, the Guardians, and forgive me, the other team there with the
Twins.
Yep. And then the Twins. And then we have, for me, also the Phillies, Braves, and Dodgers, that dominant trio up top. It's just, to me, those are my kind of big storylines as I see it early when I look at the power rankings. Where do you see it, Josh?
I'm with you actually on that one. I mean, the Yankees are doing what I hoped they wouldn't do, and they look fantastic with all the money they put on their roster. The Mariners being out front in the West was not something I was expecting. I knew there was an opportunity for that to happen this year, but I didn't know if the team was going to put it all together. But yeah, the AL Central is by far the most interesting division right now in baseball. It's got to be the most fun division because it's a bunch of teams that nobody thought was going to be any good, and they're just smacking around everybody they're playing. And the Royals have got to be the sweet spot.
I don't think enough people know about it yet. That's why I don't think we're that far in. We're like the casual fans are like really hooked on to the AL Central yet. That's how I feel. That's what I'm watching it. But I'm with you. I think these teams will prove I think they're still all going to be in it by like July, August. I don't think one of them's going to fade out. I believe they'll all stay pretty tough in there.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I think Cleveland might fade out a little bit. I think that young crew and that new manager, I mean, he might have some magic there, but I think there's a chance that things start rolling for him and maybe they get a little full of themselves at some point and they take a step back. I'm really interested to see if the Royals can keep doing what they're doing. Obviously, we know where I stood on them in preseason.
Yep, you're high.
I was high on them, and I'm hoping they don't make me look dumb. I mean, Arizona did it for me last year, made me look smart, so I'm hoping the Royals can do it for me this year.
Tyler, what kind of stands out to you early on with some of the power rankings in there? Obviously, I had the Phillies up top. What do you kind of make of maybe them and some other things there that stand out to you?
I mean, while the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Dodgers are obviously the head of the class, I think the team that has surprised me and with the pitching could be very tough to beat is the Cubs.
Yep.
They have this starting pitching that has just been stupendous, which was shocking. I did not see this coming from them. And then with the likes of a Manga and Assad, and then you have some injuries, and then you have like the Hendrickses and the Tylons who are up and down, but they've been pitching well. I think the Cubs are going to be a tough team. I think they're going to actually pass the Brewers at some point this season. I think the Brewers will fall off, and I think the Cubs will run away with this division.
So you're saying the Brewers will do what they always do at times? Is that what you're?
That's what I'm saying.
Cubs Brewers race. I was thinking about that. The Cubs are an interesting team. Let's talk about them for just a second because Tyler, I've been able to watch a lot of them a little bit more this year. The lefty pitcher that they brought over to me is like Henry Rowengartner. The way the man can't say it.
Imanaga.
I'm like, who's your mom? But that's what I always want to say when I say it. But that's what I always want to say when I think.
That's me.
But he's been unreal, and he's fun to watch.
Ridiculous.
We talked about it in the preseason time. I think maybe you were skeptical, but maybe another guest we had on.
I don't remember talking about this.
Maybe it was Mr. Stone that was skeptical. Anyway, I thought, and I think that like the way he pitched, like the lefty, the wind up he has, like the accuracy that he has, he's proven. And Japan, like to me, has a pretty good track record of these guys when they come over. I feel like for the most part, when they're highly touted, anyways, for the most part they deliver. I feel like for a little bit. Even what was it, Dice K for the Red Sox, right? Yeah. He delivered for a short period of time. I know he fell off a little bit after that, but I don't know.
The old gyro ball.
Yeah, their ERA is like top 5 right now in the National League, so they're right up there with it. The hitting, do you guys think they can hit well enough though? That's the thing with the Cubs. I don't know if they can Swanson be consistent the whole year. Like, is that can we get that? Can Bellinger keep delivering? Suzuki's having a better consistent start, but can he stay healthy? Like to me, that's some of the big questions we have. Ian Happ, like he's like your typical like Mark Canna guy. I don't know, like so that's where I'm at with the Cubs. That's a good call.
I can't stand Happ. He's a Cardinal killer. Every time he plays the Cardinals, dude, he plays so well every time.
The Nationals surprised me though. Still being even have 20 wins, they were kind of there surprising me. But then the Rockies, they end up getting off to a better. They kind of are on like they're on an 8-game
streak.
Right, yeah, I think 8 now. They won again.
Oh, it might be 8 now. Yeah.
And then you have the Padres fans booing them. The Padres always find a way, man. They make a good trade, it feels like, and then next thing you know, they lose 8 straight. Like I don't know what is about this team. Cease is having a good year. The Padres just always like seem like one of those teams, Tyler, that has like the talent, but then like they can't always put it together. Always. I mean,
they're like the Chicago. We just brought up they're like the Cubs in like the early 2000s before Pryor and Wood. They had Sosa, they had Grace, they'd have. I mean, I guess when Derek Lee got there, they were a little more legit. But like they'd always have the hitting and the players that would put up individual seasons where you're like, how is this team not like winning a World Series or even competing? Maybe they'd win a division every once in a while. Like the Cubs did win a couple with Sosa. But you never felt like they were World Series contenders till Pryor and Wood got there. And that's just how I feel about the Padres. Like they have Tatis, they have Machado, they have Cease having this great year, but they just aren't competing where they should be.
Josh, any thoughts on that?
I'm right in line with Tyler for once. On the paper, the Padres should be a legit contender, and they look like a legit choke artist. I mean, that's all they look like right now. They have one of the best rosters in baseball collectively, and they're not getting the job done. If I was a Padres fan, I would be irate. I mean, they're very similar to the Cardinals. Let's be honest. On paper, if the Cardinals are all healthy, they look like a legit team, division winner, clear outright. But they can't perform. So I feel the Padres fans' pain.
We didn't talk about the Phillies though. Are they the best team right? Are they the best team right now though, or is it the Dodgers?
I still lean to the Dodgers.
Yeah, man.
I'm with Josh. I'm leaning to the Dodgers. You have Betts, Shohei and then Freeman in the top three. It's just like the Giants were playing them yesterday, and they were up by 3 in the ninth, and then Betts gets a hit. Otani gets out, like, oh God, here we go. Luckily we get out of it, but I'm like, this is just it's a murderer's row up that those top three, where I don't think the Phillies quite have that firepower. Well, they're really good, don't get me wrong, and they beat the Dodgers consistently in the playoffs. I just feel like the Dodgers are a little more scary.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers. I think to piggyback on what Tyler said, I think when the Phillies play the Dodgers in the playoffs, it's just a matchup thing. I think it's just the way those two teams are built. I think the Phillies just have what it takes to beat the Dodgers in a series like that. I don't know, and that's where I can't say that the Phillies are the better team overall. They just got something built to where it beats the Dodgers, and that happens a lot in hockey, where the team that doesn't have the better record, but they own a team that has a better record than them. It just happens. I think it might be one of those situations.
Okay, another team that was on my mind too it was kind of I haven't talked about them in a while, is the Blue Jays. They're 0-5 in their last like 6 series. They won, they tied in one of them. But I don't know what it is. Like, this team to me is always like, they could do this. They have Vlad. My son Tyler, he has a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. shirt and a hat because he loves like the Blue Jays now because of like Vlad. And then they have the star power. At what point are they like? And they have Barrios that's having a pretty good year, and they're okay, but like I feel like they're in no man's land. I just don't. I mean, do they have a miracle run in a playoff run? I guess maybe in them, but it feels like they are one of the more stuck franchises given that division strength. I don't know. To me, the Blue Jays are in a weird spot.
It's because they're in Canada.
The Blue Jays to me are weird. They have 2 good pitchers at the top. Then after that, it's actually Gosman's had a big fall off. Bassett, since he left the A's, hasn't really been the guy you expected of him, or even you expected of him. Like when he was on the A's, I was like, this guy's not that great. I don't know why you.
Who was the other guy that really sucked last year that was good before?
Kikuchi?
No, the other guy. Manoah.
Manoah still sucks.
I lost him.
Yeah, you have Bichette and Vlad. You think, okay, you got 2 middle of the order guys who are top notch. They're going to be all stars basically for a decade. And then you have Barrios and Kikuchi who are actually pitching really good this year. You expect to be more than 5 games below 500. It's just a disappointing start. I don't know what they do. Can you trade Bo Bichette or Vlad? I don't think so. Like, seems too early to do that. I don't know what you do if you're in Toronto. If the Giants, if you're listening, give it all up. Take one of them.
Give it all up for Vlad. Talk about a fan base revival right there. Remember Craig Biggio? He was supposed to be the guy there. We got your Reds on the TV.
Gavin.
We got him on there. The Reds forever 1-0. Just to let people know, De La Cruz steals his 27th base of the year.
Unbelievable.
Man, the guy's on. Will he get? What do you guys think De La Cruz gets to? Does he get to 70?
I think he gets to 95.
95. Wow. Tyler, is that number jump? I'm not saying it's not possible.
That's a crazy number.
You think he's got 27 in 43 games?
95.
Okay, 90 maybe?
No, just that bottom.
That's crazy of a number.
I don't hate the number. I just have to wrap my head around a human being getting 95.
Yeah, I like the number.
You got to find a catcher who can throw him out. And right now, pop times and arm strengths obviously aren't the best behind the plate.
Jordan
Highway 101. Darren, Highway 101. The traffic sucks.
I did have a Dalmatian. I do like that number. Oh yeah, it gets 101. You do. I mean, and that just puts Ricky Henderson in perspective. Like, when I'll just like giving 1,300 stolen bases for a career is insane. And then you know what I mean. So and then he's got thrown out the most too. I saw 350 times. All right, so you guys both think we get that high. The Reds have lost.
I don't know if he gets that high. I think
Tyler, you said De La Cruz shouldn't be a shortstop, though. I found that interesting. Let's just stay on the Reds for a second because they are an interesting team for a second. We're talking power rankings. They've been sucking it up. They were on my falling team this week in the standings. They fell. They continue to fall hard in the power rankings. You were very critical of Mr. De La Cruz. I think you said get this man an oven mitt the way he was playing shortstop over there at one point. So what do you have with De La Cruz? I mean, obviously he's a star player, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take at this point. The guy plays defense with a frying pan as his glove, and his arm is erratic. Obviously, a great arm. He can throw the ball as hard as anyone. But I'd like to see him take the Fernando Tatis route, where he moves to the outfield and becomes one of the best defensive outfielders in all the league. Like, I think he has that potential with the speed, the arm, like power, the throwing out ability from the outfield. That's where I think he would be the most successful. A little less stress in the defensive side of the thing. Let him focus on hitting, and then just do your thing in the outfield when you have to, like once every 2 innings you get a ball hit to you. And that's you look at Tatis's his defense. It's much better in the outfield than it was at shortstop. And he's on pace for 43 errors this year. It's just not sustainable.
They're up 2-0 right now against the Dodgers as we go there.
Attaboy, go Reds.
You see him a lot in the Central there. Daily Cruz there. We've talked to him a little bit. Dodgers, they're with it. The Pirates, they continue to be kind of a weird team. But what did they have this week, Mr. Edwards? Maybe
well, they're playing the Cubs this weekend.
Even MLB finds a way to get his girlfriend in an interview. They make it happen. They make it like it's always sex sells at the end of the day, right, people? So that's what you always got to remember, right, Tyler? That's what you got to remember. 7th inning stretch here. Learn that, kids. At the end of the day, with it. Paul Skeens, though, he was unreal in terms of bringing the heat. It was a weird game, though. They ended up like giving up. When they walked 6 straight guys or something like that, something crazy. And then the rain comes for 2.5 hours. Grandal hits a 3-run homer late. They end up holding on 10-9. But overall, Skeens, I felt like got a little lost in it because it was such a weird game. But what did you make of his outing there, Josh?
I think it was a weak outing, but I think it's what I told you was going to happen. He wasn't stretched out enough. He could only go 4 innings. He hit somebody. He walked 2. Yeah, he had 7 Ks, but he's got an ERA of 6.75. He allowed 6 hits and 3 earned runs. This goes back to me saying that young pitchers need to spend more time in AAA and get their arms more developed before they come up. He'd be great as a long-term reliever right now or a closer for them. He'd be electric, but he is not stretched out enough. I mean, if you're going to stretch him out while he's in the big leagues, fine. If that's the plan, cool. I don't know. I don't listen to Pirates radio. If we could get Fort to come on and tell us, that'd be awesome so I could clarify my position. But I thought he was going to do more. I really did. I expected more, and maybe I expected too much.
Tyler?
I think this was a little bout of bad luck. I do agree with you that they should spend more time in the minors or spend less time in the minors, because I think these minor league systems set them up for this. All right, we're only going to throw 3 innings, because in college he was throwing 8 innings consistently. I brought this up last time I was on the show. Right. Why are we dialing things back when they're getting to the big leagues and becoming professional? Like, this is when you should be amping them up to be the best of what they can be. He threw the ball over 100 miles per hour 17 times. Like, the guy is immensely talented. I think he'll have better outings. I think he got, like I mentioned before, a little bit of bad luck. And I don't disagree with anything you said, Josh, because I think he was set up for a little bit of failure. But I think he'll bounce back. He'll be a great pitcher. He's gonna be one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball as long as he stays healthy.
I hope he is. And I hope he can stay healthy, because if he gets hurt as another young,
and that could happen
talented,
very well too. Very well.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but I mean, that's bad for baseball. I mean, it's bad for baseball right now that we have so many pitchers out with Tommy John shoulder and elbow issues. If you let this kid get hurt and he's out for 18 months, that's not good for the city of Pittsburgh, the organization of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's not good for baseball. There's been nothing but hype around this kid since before he got called up to AAA in Indianapolis. I mean, I don't remember where their AA team is, and my apologies. He did play against a good.
He's going to play against them again, I think, right?
Yeah, he plays against them again in his next outing. So,
102 is 102. My goodness.
But he only threw 84
times.
84 pitches in 4 innings. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's gonna have to learn to cut that down. Obviously, Verlander was able to do it.
Be more effective.
Yeah, Verlander was able to do that. Can he be around the zone and just trust his stuff to get there? I think he can. I mean, he throws that damn hard. I think he can do that, and it's not like his secondary stuff is that bad. His slider's pretty filthy. Actually, it's beyond filthy. So let's be respectful to it. I think he's going to be electric, and he's he's almost must-see TV when he's on the mound. Do you guys get that same feeling when he pitches right now, or no?
If I had the availability, I could watch.
That's what I mean. If you had the chance to get him 102, that's something you want to
I'd check it out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he ends up pulling a Jordan Hicks. If the Pittsburgh's smart I think they go to him like your Giants have done and made Hicks into a starter. They go, hey, we know you have gas. Pull back 3 or 4 miles an hour. Let's get that control back and hit all your marks. And then when you have to bring gas, bring the gas. And I think that would make him a better pitcher. He needs to know that he doesn't have to go up there and throw triple digits every time he throws the ball.
I think he's going to go the same route as Steven Strasburg. I think he's just going to do his thing. He's going to be nasty when he's healthy, but I think he'll get hurt. Or he could turn into the Verlander where he has this unreal reliability of not getting hurt. But I think he's going to go one of those. I don't think he's dialing anything back.
Nobody's going to be Nolan
Nobody's
Ryan.
Nobody's going to tell him to slow down. He's going to be throwing gas his whole career until he can.
Is that what makes Nolan Ryan so crazy though? Like if you think
but
about
he had 10 minutes to throw a ball.
I understand that, but I mean it makes the idea of throwing consistently that hard for that long with your arm to me is what makes it nuts. Yes, I agree in 5 hours to throw a ball. But even with that said, there's been a lot of players over the history of time that has 5 hours.
But Logan, what the hell does Rich Hill know about throwing 102? Like he can't. What's he going to say to him?
Rich Hill's not going to say anything to him.
Hey,
Garrett,
I wish I could do that, Paul.
I wish, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be with you. I would be doing the interviews. All right, so we got to him. Big guy.
Do you think he's going to have a better outing against the Cubs his second time through that lineup, or is he going to struggle worse this time around? Or do you think we'll see much of the same?
What's your prediction?
I think he actually probably has a little bit of worse time because the Cubs have seen him already. They're going to have some actual film. They're going to know what they did wrong. They should be able to make adjustments and play him better.
I would think he goes.
I don't know if they will, but they should.
I think he'll be better. I think he'll. I didn't think he was terrible. He made a couple mistakes that really got him on that, but I thought he was really good for the most part. But like you said, was a little shaky. I think he'll be really good. I would expect maybe 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 8 Ks. That's kind of what I think is definitely possible.
Yeah, I'm with you. I still think the pitch per inning is going to be a little too high. I think he goes about 4 innings, still gets the same amount of Ks, but I think a lot less damage gets done. I think he gets out of trouble a little better after he's been in the situation. Like, Josh, you have to factor in that was his first time in the major league. He wasn't he's amped up and not let him calm down a little bit as well as the Cubs. You could be right as well, and I wouldn't be shocked. Don't get me wrong, but I think this guy has a great chance of succeding in the second outing against the Cubs.
I would like to see it. Just so you know, I'm rooting for him to go 6 innings and 10 Ks.
Well, of course, that seems far fetched for me. I just don't see long innings in his future because they don't let him do that anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm saying he in his first 3 innings he only throws 24 pitches. That sets him up to go another 3. Is what I'm getting at. I'm hoping he has that kind of an outing because I think it'd be great for him and for baseball. It's more publicity. It's something to advertise. This young star is going to answer the call. And he's going to revive the Pittsburgh Pirates to days of old. That's what Pittsburgh needs. They need a new Andrew McCutchen. They need somebody to build this franchise around.
I think they need to trade up for Mike Yastrzemski to do that. Trade Paul for Mike. Bring Yastrzemski back to Pittsburgh.
We got a big old Mike there for you. All right. One of the last things I had power rankings wise, was the Red Sox. They kind of still hanging in there.
Hold on, hanging in there. Hold
22
on.
22 and 22, 7.5 games out.
Hold on. I had these stats up here. Hold on. I lost.
Well, they're 500 though. That's my point.
But here, how are they doing it? They're doing it with pitching.
Yes,
because their lineup is not great. They are the number 1 pitching team in the AL. They're 22 and 21. That's a team. They have a 2.79 ERA. That's 44 games. They've got a complete game. They've got 6 shutouts. They've got 10 saves. They've got 19 save opportunities, so they're missing there a little bit. But they've already thrown 396.1 innings. They've given up 327 hits. They've given up 159 runs. 123 of those were earned. They've only given up 36 home runs. They've only hit 22 guys. They've walked 115, and they've struck out 377. And they're doing it because they're not using the four-seam fastball, which is unconventional in the MLB today. They throw the four-seam fastball less than any other starting rotation in baseball. Everything they throw has movement. Their fastballs are sinkers and cutters. Yes, they still throw some four-seam fastballs, but they're doing it way less than everybody else, and it's messing with people. Their whip is a 1.12, and average against them is 222. That is phenomenal. This pitching staff came out of nowhere, and the pitching coach they have is a freaking genius because he knew what he had to work with, and he's making it work. You got to give him all the credit in the world. I don't even know the guy's name.
I think he's a very familiar face to both me and Tyler in the Bay Area, and it's funny that their GM is Craig Breslow that used to pitch for the A's. Tyler, do you remember him? He was a lefty.
Yeah, the old reliever.
And the pitching coach he's talking about is Andrew Bailey. He used to be a closer for the A's. He was a pitching coach for
the Red Sox before he came to the Bay Area.
Well, he was with the Giants before that.
I think he was with the Red Sox.
He was with you guys before. Now I listened to his quotes. His quotes were, "Well, I'm just making them throw their better, or I'm just suggesting they throw their best pitch more," which doesn't seem like rocket science in that regard. But I don't know. Like, because even he said it's not like anything out of the ordinary, but the stats do say what you're saying. I did find that interesting. And then I got the two guys down here that are just dominating, Tanner Houck and Cutter Crawford. They're dominating ERA wise so far. So you have that with their starting rotation, and they've been right into it. I do find it interesting about the four-seam fastball. I mean, obviously it's meant to go straight. So if you threw it less, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, it's also the fastest pitch. Like, they're not using gas to beat guys. That's what I'm saying. They're not having to throw 99, 98, 99, 100 miles an hour to get guys out. They're doing it with movement. They're doing it with placement. They're doing it in the John Smoltz style. Not that slow, of course, but they're using movement. They're using placement. They're using good pitching fundamentals and techniques instead of just having their guys go out there and try to throw gas. It's a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to watching Boston pitch against my Cardinals this weekend.
Before I start,
we're going to get smoked, but it is what it is.
Cutter Crawford's got to be one of the best pitching names in the history of baseball.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you're not throwing four-seam fastballs. Andrew Bailey was with the Angels, not the Red Sox, before the Giants. I knew he was a pitching coach. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be sustainable. I think the Red Sox are going to have a falling off. I just don't think the talent is.
Their team ERA is the best, Tyler, right now, too.
No, it has been. A month and a half of regular season. I don't think this is sustainable. I think they will have a falling off. And I could be wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But I don't think Tanner Houck is going to keep a 2.17, and Big Cutter Crawford is going to stay 2.24. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's just the history of baseball tells me it doesn't seem sustainable.
Maybe you guys will trade for Big Cutter.
If they both finish with ERAs under 3, would you say it's a successful season?
I'll say I'm wrong.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
I just wanted to kind of give a range there because I didn't want to box.
No, I don't expect 2.17 is unsustainable for
That's
Pedro
ridiculous.
Martinez.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, under 3, wrong.
That's great. They both finished there. That's a good one. And we'll see if you can sustain that in Boston at that park in that division. Yeah. That would be quite impressive. So I thought that Whitlock, he's always been good for them too, for the most part. The reliever there, the lefty.
What if they had Mookie Betts?
If they had Mookie Betts, it might be a little better. Cheap shot by Tyler Baker. There with it, always a little cheap shot. All right, those are my power rankings looking at it. Josh, you had something on your mind too?
Hold on. I want to talk about one more thing before we get to my thing.
All right, what do you got?
So, I just want to go through the division leaders real quick. And I want to know, are you guys surprised or are you as expected? Yankees, as expected, I guess, for you guys?
I'm a little surprised. I didn't think they'd be this good.
Okay, I thought the Orioles would be that too.
Okay, so we're all surprised there. The Guardians, we're surprised across the board, right?
Yeah.
The Mariners, are we surprised across the board?
Yes.
Okay, so the AL is interesting to watch.
Texas would be better, but I'm not shocked.
Okay.
I thought after that GM's comments, I thought they were going to fiddle away.
Years ago, wasn't it?
So we all have to admit we're surprised that the Phillies have the lead in their division because we all thought it'd be the Braves.
And the
Dodgers, no surprise there.
No.
And then the Brewers.
Nope, not for me. Go Brewers.
I'm surprised. I thought the Brewers would be terrible when they lost their closer, when they lost. I didn't think what the hell is the outfielder who won the MVP a couple of years ago? I didn't think he had anything left. I didn't expect William Contreras to be like the
he's been unreal.
The hardest hitting baseball player. He has
is he a star?
Yes.
Or is this
this year he's the best, one of the best players in all baseball.
Little brothers are usually better than big brothers.
I didn't expect that, and they've been great, and I didn't expect it. I was wrong about that before the season when we talked about it.
So Tyler and I are both wrong at 4 or 5 out of the divisions, and Darren's wrong about 3. Or not surprised about 3.
The Brewers won a little surprise. I have the Cubs winning it, but I thought the Brewers would be the second team there with them. I thought
you did say that, and I thought you were
Brewers
saying
play hard.
saying it.
Yeah, they just The younger, I forget the pitcher they brought up too. He's looked pretty good, or it looks like he has good stuff too. The young guy, their young guy that they brought up there. All right, so 7th inning stretch here.
And the Cubs are missing Jacob Steele, like their best pitcher going into the year. Like
missed him on the
they're
first
still there.
game.
It's gonna get interesting.
He was my star in fantasy last year.
Do you think the Cardinals are done, Tyler?
I never count the Cardinals out. I won't count them out. Nope.
We ripped on them last week. We gave them a good ripping.
Well, I ripped on them too.
I ripped them for 24 minutes last week.
I was there last week.
Where? What was the week before?
I think it was the week.
Yeah, I was there. I left early.
Oh, that's right.
You started saying Gary Carter was better than Barry Bonds or something. Like
no, you said I said Vince Coleman, and I was like, no, I didn't say Vince Coleman.
Gary Carter.
Gary Carter.
The catcher. That's good. All right, here. Josh, the floor is yours. What would you add there?
All right. So I wanted to kind of have a discussion tonight, and Darren's got no prep. I want to talk about something that's ruining baseball, and not something that we typically talk about. I'm not talking about the umps. I'm not talking about the bases or the
integration.
Rule
no, I'm just kidding. Complete joke. Complete joke. Complete joke.
Playoff format.
All right.
I think the playoff format is absolutely destroying baseball's regular and postseason, and here's why. With all the teams getting in now, with 3 wild card teams getting in from each side, let me give you the numbers here. Right now, there are 8 teams in the NL that are viable wild card candidates, and this includes my Cardinals that are 2.5 games out of the wild card. And they're all under 500. That is unacceptable. If you can't be at least 500, you shouldn't make the playoffs in the first place. But what this is doing for front offices and owners is telling them we don't have to spend enough money to try to win. We just have to try to get in and then cross our fingers and hope, like Arizona did last year, and to make a run. And that's just enough because our fans will go wild if they make a run. It's just about getting there. And this has been and not to get in onto my Cardinals specifically, but this is what the Cardinals have done for the last 10 years. Maybe even a little bit longer, like back to 2011 when they got hot and they won the World Series when they shouldn't have. This is bad for baseball. And I don't think anybody can say I'm wrong on this. I mean, the playoff expansion is always good because you got more teams, more revenue and everything, but it's allowing front offices to be cheaper and take advantage of the fan bases and not put into it what they should to go out and be the best they can be. They're doing the bare minimum to just make the playoffs, and it's watering down the games. And then you have the 3-game playoff. No series should be 3 games because if one team has two great pitchers, they're going to win that. Most likely, they're going to win that 3-game series anyways. So if they're going to do this, they need to change it to a 5-game series. So you got to get all the way through the pitching rotation and give that wild card team a legit chance to run and win it. If you're going to, that to me would make it more exciting. It's the extra team and then the 3-game series to start it. Just for me, doesn't work. I think it's bad for baseball, and I think it's letting front offices off the hook from going out and trying to be the best they can be.
I've always said I've always from deep down I've always said just have an American League winner and a National League winner, and those should play. Like ideally, that's how I would do it, and you could do 2 divisions and then you go the other way, just for like the pure fun of regular season. And I would do it where they don't play in the regular season because I think that's what made the World Series of the All-Star game and added it for me. Extra intrigue was like when you didn't have these guys play. So that to me, that adds to it. But here's my big thought here, Josh. What is the most popular thing in American sports? And no doubt.
Playoffs.
No, what league?
Oh, hockey.
Good try.
But that's true too. A lot of hockey teams make the playoffs.
NFL.
I mean, dude,
NFL.
Yeah.
And my point is, NFL didn't have very many playoffs teams, but they keep adding. And the point is, they do that because you keep fan bases interested longer. And so, like, you have 8 teams that feel like they still can make it, like Tyler's crappy Giants and your crappy Cardinals. Even though they're not in it, you feel like it.
I don't feel intrigued by this at all.
But you get my point, or my A's are still it. But you get my point. Like, I think we all know deep down, like, there's certain levels of this. Like, that's why the Diamondbacks and Rangers one felt weird last year when they played in the playoffs, right? Like, because we were like, do they deserve to be there? I mean, the Rangers won it. All good for them. Great job, Bruce, brother. But we got, but at the end of the day, what was that like?
Bruce Brochy special.
Those weren't the best teams that would 162 games offer. So to me, I would just like to do that. That's how I might put it with Josh, is that to me, it's not going to go anywhere. If anything, it's going to expand more.
Which is going to, I think, continue to make it worse. I don't like it with football either. I don't think a 8 and 9 team should make the playoffs.
But it's not worse. The TV ratings and money is telling them it's not worse.
I know. That's my problem with it. It's all about money. What happened to the purity of the sport? Like, give me 3 division winners.
But it was always like that. Even if you look back at the 30s, they did stuff to make more money in the 40s, and they did more money to make. This is just like the greed gets higher and higher.
I am so tired of greed, man. Like, it's the downfall of America. And it's
you have a Notre Dame helmet behind you. Is that what it knows, kid?
That's my high school helmet, actually. Thank you.
Okay, all right. They don't.
Oh my gosh! Hold on. This has never happened in the history of the show. I hate that I'm going to agree with Josh, but the problem is that it will take away from the playoffs being great. When was the last great series in the playoffs?
The Giants versus the Royals.
Probably.
Giants versus the Royals. There's been plenty of good series. We can look back. There's been a few.
The Cubs versus Indians. I guess they were called that back then.
That was a good one.
2006. But there's also your Giants Dodgers played a good one a few years back here.
No, it's terrible. We lost.
All right, well, you get your point. I don't look, Josh. I'll say this. I agree with you, but I don't see the mindset that's ever going to change because it's just not going to change. It's not going to. Nobody's going to go less anymore. It's just never going to happen.
Sometimes less is more.
Can I agree with Josh while agreeing with Darren? Football is different than baseball. Also,
that's true.
I guess it just means that's what everybody's trying to get to.
But you can put the 32nd versus the 31st ranked football teams in a playoff situation. It's going to get numbers. Like you can put the 2 worst football players if they're advancing to something.
Fair enough.
Right, that's true, right?
Yeah.
Baseball is I'm with you. We're not going to change it by saying it's worse having these teams that don't belong in the playoffs. Because like I'm watching the Giants, I'm like, this isn't a playoff team. I don't even want to watch. Like if they're in the playoffs, I want to watch it because I'm a Giants fan. But they don't belong in the playoffs. They suck. They can't hit the baseball if I like will them with all like, or they even will themselves.
Tyler's up there hitting with them.
I'm up there batting left-handed, right-handed at the TV.
Come on, Wade. Jr.
But it's football baseball comparison is a little different.
No,
but the fact that where you're right,
watering down the record to get in is my point.
They can charge these TV networks more money saying these are playoff games as opposed to saying these are just regular season. We got more playoff games for you. Give us more millions of dollars.
Now, the counter to all this with the less, this is why the 4 has always been interesting, right? You had the 3.
That's where it was best.
And then you had the 1 wild card. Because you did have your scenarios where your Giants team, right, won 102 games back in '93, and the Braves won 103, and you don't even make the playoffs.
Well, what the hell are they doing in the West? Is the first
yeah, I know that's still the Arizona Cardinals were somehow the NFC East for a long time. So my point is like you have these scenarios where like he doesn't play. You guys, Josh, you think the 4 is the best too?
I mean, 4. I would even go to 5. Where the 1 seed in each conference gets the bye,
but it seems like the managers don't even like the bye. The 1 seed managers like the bye, so maybe that's that's why I think the 4 might be the best.
I mean, I think 4 is the best, but I think if they could come back to 5 teams from each conference in the playoffs or each league, excuse me, I think that would be better. The 7 teams from each is worse. I mean, I can even deal with the 6 with 5. Yeah, we already have 6. It's one too many for me. It's just one too many for me. And the greed is going to be the downfall of all sports.
I like Logan's here. The NBA model is probably the best for MLB to stick with in terms of, I think shortening the series is interesting to me. They used to play 9-game series way back. It's kind of funny. Like that was like the way. So it's got baseball's history on these things is it's quite interesting. I agree with you. I think the 4 teams to 5 teams is probably your sweet spot. There is something fascinating to me about that regular season with baseball. Because sometimes I'll go through Baseball Reference and look up MVP years, and so I was going through the early '90s the other day, and I was looking at some of the division winners, and there's 7 teams in each, and like so you have the American League, right? You have 7 in the AL West, 7 in the AL East. And you might have had the Twins in 91. I think they won by 8 games. And you had the Blue Jays in 91 win by 11 games. And you might think to yourself, like, was that good for MLB to have 2 teams that were up probably that much in the league? But back then, MLB was in a different state. You know what I mean? I think people just watch to watch. But it would be fascinating, like the way if they went back to something like that, just how important the regular season would be. Like I saw, like guys were winning MVPs coming in 7th and 8th place routinely back then. Like, it wasn't like this huge, like you had to get first place. It was very interesting.
But that's when it was more about who was the most valuable player to his team.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
Before it was who's the best player on the best team.
Do you really ever think this could realistically?
But I don't think that's what happens now, because A-Rod got one and he finished in last place. Like, and I think that's happened recently where it's been like Mike Trout's won a couple MVPs where the Angels didn't even compete.
That's fine with me. I just found it more interesting that back then there'd be like, it was like no problem, like 91, like easily we're getting this on talent. You know, it's like, I don't know, I just found it kind of surprising.
I'm just saying it happens more often than not, Tyler. That's all. Like,
You're
more
right.
often than not, the MVP typically comes from one of the best teams or one of the best 4 or 5 teams. Trout was an exception, and that's because Trout, Logan, listen in, was a generational talent who, unfortunately, injuries plagued his career, and we're never going to get to see what he really could have been. It's a shame, but he was an exception.
And Trout's different because he blew people away with his numbers. I'm talking about certain MVPs, like 91 in my head. It's you have like some of the numbers are so close that it's like Cal Ripken won. Like he obviously had a better like WAR or something like that. But it was just kind of funny looking at all. He
also played every game every year.
He did. Mad respect to Big Cal for that. One of the best out there. All right, we're at about the 40-minute mark here on 7th inning stretch, which means we're in the 7th inning stretch. Any last thoughts on that, guys? Standings wise, in terms of Josh with the ideas there. I like the playoff thing, Josh. I think it's a good thing. I think 5 would be nice. I don't want us to go to 9 teams here. This is going to be insane. Like, we don't need that bad baseball. Like, that's the one thing with the NFL I don't like about expanding. Right? Usually, right, Tyler, that 7-seed game is a total crap game. It's like obvious. It's like a terrible first game. It's like awful. So that part I hate for sure when that's the case. I got some stats here at the bottom. Some of the stats here. I got the pitching. Some of the stats. Rangers Suarez continues to be killing it for the Ohtani. Obviously killing it batting average wise there. He's the leader. Ozuna has life again. Marcel, little life again there with the Braves. He's leading the league in home runs, along with Kyle Tucker is leading the league in home runs. Ozuna's right there in second with many people. Josh Naylor's been surprising me with his stats as well. He's continued to stay hot. He's got 12 homers as well with it. So we'll see with it. Hey, what was it? My son asked this interesting trade today. I forget what it was. He was like, man, what was it? It was like, would you trade Evan Carter? Oh, that's what it was. For the Rangers, because the Rangers and Astros. That was kind of my final thought before I kind of get to Diamond Notes here. I was like, Xavier, it's a pretty good little trade offer. I like that. It was Evan Carter of the Rangers for who was it? It was Evan Carter of the Rangers for. Damn it, I'm gonna forget again right off my brain is returned.
Call him in and ask him.
Xavier, oh no, I got it for Jazz. So, like, with the Rangers trade for Jazz, but they give up Evan Carter to the deal. I was like, that's actually not a bad little offer. But they play center field. I don't think they would do it because Carter proved it last year in the World Series. But I was like, for being an 8-year-old, that's a pretty creative idea. I'll give you that for all the stats there with it. So,
that's a smart 8-year-old.
I was talking to my buddy Adam, who's a Rangers fan there, and we didn't really touch on them or the Astros. I think that was the two teams we kind of didn't mention along the way, standings wise. The Rangers are 23 and 22. I feel like they're right there with it, and they secretly have some guys that are there, like DeGrom if he can get back at all and give him any. Scherzer still is there to give. They have some guys, some pieces there along the way that can make them pretty dangerous come away. And then the Astros, they beat the A's in a 4-game series. Do you think the Astros are? Do you think they can make a little run again?
Do I? Yeah, absolutely. I never count the Astros, though. If they get in the playoffs, they're going to be bitch to get out of the playoffs. Do they have to get in? But I think you have Yordan Alvarez, you have Bregman, you have Altuve, you have Kyle Tucker. Your lineup will be okay. The pitching staff leaves a lot to be desired at certain spots, especially at the lower end of it, and the bullpen's been But I'm never counting the Astros out with Yordan, Bregman, Altuve, and Tucker.
Yeah.
With the way the division looks, with the way the AL looks, I don't think the Astros have a way in unless they win the division. I think they have to win the division. The Mariners can go cold at any time. We know that. The Rangers, defending World Series champions, will they fall off, or will they be able to find the lightning in a bottle they found last year? We'll have to wait and see. So I'd have to agree with Tyler. There's a chance, but the Astros are going to have to win that division because I think 2 teams are coming out of the Central, and I think at least 2 teams are coming out of the East.
Well, that's one thing about baseball. A lot will change here. We get to 26 wins. It's like, well, that's not going to get very much done at the end of the day. So there's still a long ways to play out with it. So, yeah, some of the surprises there along the way have the leaders there. This is one
the Astros are only 8-21 against teams better than 500. Keep that in mind.
Oh, they've been bad.
They've been really bad.
We'll see.
Josh, what I had as our play of the week in terms of I thought this was our play of the week.
Love Louise.
That ball is blasted into center.
Goodbye.
Macho still going back, leaps and makes the catch. This big right-handed power hitter to pull. That ball is blasted into center.
Luis, go get it.
Macho still going back, leaps and makes the catch.
That was a Jim Edmonds-esque grab.
Very nice there by Luis. Very nice. I thought that was as well as it gets. Tyler, very impressive there by your Giant center fielder. Wasn't enough to win the game, I think.
No, they won that game. That was the game.
Oh, yeah. How about Ohtani going deep to right? I was telling my buddy at work, I was like, because you don't see too many people go big boy out there to that part of right center field the way Ohtani did. That was like Bonds-esque out there. That was, I was thinking for a second, he could have made this park look small. He would have been the other guy that could have made this park look small.
Oh, it could have been 70 million, 68 of it deferred. Would have been beautiful. He's spectacular. Luis Matos making that play was probably the shock of the season because he's been pretty terrible in the 5 games he's played in center field. He's kind of not very good center fielder, but that was a hell of a catch. Saved Logan Webb. Logan Webb cruised till about the 7th inning, and we pulled that one out.
That home run he hit was impressive though. That was a beauty.
Shohei's unbelievable.
Diamond Notes, shocker.
He's a great gambler. They're a terrible gambler though.
Yeah, I can't believe he's gonna come out of that scotch-free.
We have an Astro suspended. Josh, are you shocked?
No, it's the cheaters, man. You knew it was gonna come back. That's who they are.
This is I just have this up on the screen as we're talking about it here a little bit with it, but and I got the Diamond Notes at the bottom here. Some of the fun facts for the week with it. Blanco gets suspended. He gets suspended. I find it interesting that he has the no-hit, right? He has the no-hitter. He's been pitching well, and then is it just? He says it's nothing. He says it was just like some rosin. The umpire came out and said that was the stickiest stuff I've felt since I've done this. Since I've been doing this, since the MLB has made us do this. I don't know. I'm surprised, honestly, it doesn't happen a little bit more, but I don't know. I find it interesting. Like we saw that one with John Boy break that one down with the Arkansas pitcher, right? Putting sticky on his glove as well. I don't know. I just found it interesting. He suspended an Astros guys again. Tyler, what do you make of Mr. Blanco going out?
I don't think it's very surprising. I think every time I hear about the Astros cheating, which I'm not – cheating in baseball is as old as – before I was alive, but it doesn't surprise me. It sucks for the Astros, sucks for a game of baseball that people are still trying to get away with stuff that people know are illegal. I don't know. It's part of baseball at this point. It doesn't really bother me. It is what it is. I expect this to happen 4 times a year. Yep. Is just how baseball is run these days, or how it's always been run.
Yep, that was going to happen a little bit. Josh, anything come out of you with Blanco there? Anything surprising?
No, and I was really kind of joking when I was like, it's the Astros, they cheat. I think it comes down to the fact that they got to give the pitcher something to use. I don't care if it's a sunscreen rosin mix. I give them something where they got a little more grip on the ball. Eventually, with the way these guys are throwing harder and harder, they're going to start breaking guys' ribs or breaking arms when they hit them because they lose control of the ball because they got no grip. Give them something for more control. Find something that works that's not going to massively affect the movement of the ball that they're throwing, but give them something that gives them a little more grip. And I'm not usually one for safety here, but 100-plus mile an hour ball hitting you is going to hurt and has potential to cause damage.
It'll cause a little bit of damage. That's why a lot of people don't make it past Little League, Josh.
I was a ball magnet in middle school, man. My left side was always bruised up.
I found the Astros theme song.
Oh, Susie, if you're out there, we appreciate you still, regardless.
Good old Doug Fuddy.
She's never gonna come on now.
She's like, damn, you guys. She's off. She got off of it. The buyer objective said it was really sticky. New Rosen says she sounded more like a spine attack. Got the spine attack time go with it. All right. Did you guys see this thing with the Mariners fan by chance that came up? So he basically, I'll get it up here. He catches
the opposite way. MJ Melendez.
He gets the 2 foul balls back to back.
You talk about a basket catch.
I mean,
hot start for that guy.
Tyler, could you imagine catching 2 in a row? I mean, you caught 1, then the very next one going right back to you.
Again, one a little straightened out a little bit more. Let's see.
I would dare Coco to hit me 2
What we got? He's got both. He got them both.
Is that Phil Hellmuth? That looks like Phil Hellmuth out there.
Jerry.
It kind of
does.
does.
That man a contract.
Oh man, I thought that was like one of the best things I saw all week. Was that I was like, that's great. Like catching dude. I mean, because I immediately went to Tyler. I was like, could you imagine the very next pitch, like again? Oh, it's so good. You'd be feeling so good after that. You're like, that's like 1 in a bajillion, Jillian. That's crazy to me.
So if you caught both, do you give one away or do you keep both of them? Like if there's a kid sitting next to you, are you giving the kid next to you one of those balls?
What a hero! What an American hero! Because his sister won, and then the next playing is the brother one. Oh, what a guy! Fan of the year.
If there's a kid under 10 with a Giants hat on or a Giants jersey on, I'll give him. If it's wearing some other jersey, you can go eat it.
Did you see Brock Purdy did that to a Dodgers fan the other day?
Yeah, with the pitcher.
Yeah, he was going up the stairs, and there was like
for Brock. Catch yourself in San Francisco lore.
He did not. He refused to take a picture. He refused to take a picture with the Giants, with the other guy there. That was funny though.
Not with the Giants, with the Dodgers.
Or with the Dodgers fan. He refused to take a
throw
picture.
him under the bus.
Well, sorry, there was no bus. Just trying to throw him under. It was a big bus. But
Jerome was running through that hole.
All right, so that was it. Scherzer also goes on the 60-day DL as well. They move him, so that means he can't really come back for sounds like another 2 weeks. But the way that I heard about it, sounds like he's going to be probably not. To me, it sounds like an all-star break thing. The way Bochy was talking about it. So we'll see. Maybe he makes a few starts before that. But they're like, yeah, he can be back May 28th. But he's like, he's not really close to ready. I'm like, well, May 28th is like 12 days away. So well, I guess it's going to be a little while. That's usually how some of these things go. So we'll see what he goes with that, with the Diamond Notes part of it. Josh, any final thoughts around the MLB before I get to MLB trivia, Diamond Notes wise? Anything that stood out to you? I mean, come on, guys, 2 foul balls. That's insane. I'm sorry. To me, I thought you guys would be more impressed with that. I thought you'd be more impressed with that.
I've heard about it for the last 2 or 3 days. However, they've talked about it on the radio every single day.
You guys must have some tough times out there.
Dude, it's
not much to talk about out in St. Louis.
Talking about everything they can. It's not baseball.
We're talking about foul balls in Seattle. We're having some tough time there. You guys are having a little trouble there. It's rough out there. What do you think? We're at Oakland. We're still making it happen there. All right, hey, trivia. Shall we make it happen here? MLB trivia.
Go ahead and roast me.
I feel like McGurk might be able to get this one on the first one. I say that once in a while.
First one.
I feel that he's like, well, I don't know at all. So I feel like an idiot after I say it.
Normally takes me 3.
It takes you 3, but I think you might be able to get this one a little bit earlier with it. So we got Who Am I? If McGurk, you don't know, you let our host up here get a chance at it, as you know, with it. All right, hit number 1. I played 22 major league seasons from 1988 to 2009. I played for 8 teams in my career, 6 NL teams, 2 AL teams. I ended my career with the Mets. Any guess there that you want to throw out there? I can move to hit number 2 here anytime, fellas. That is a given.
Not Bartolo Colon.
I have a guess, but
it is not Bartolo. Our good man Logan putting Big Uncle Mo. It was not Uncle Mo. That was a good choice, a good chance there for Uncle Mo. All right, hit number 2. I was a 9-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger. Ended up with 509 home runs, solid batting average, 292. I am the only player in history to record 100 RBIs for 5 different teams. So, in a season for 5 different teams.
If he was that good, why did he play for so many teams? So it had to be somebody who had bad character.
That's a good.
What an a-hole. That's what a-hole.
Dude, 9-time All-Star with 5 Silver Sluggers, 509 home runs, and 292 career average. And this guy had to play for 8 different teams. That makes me think of somebody who is not well liked or was a locker room cancer.
I have a couple other hints, but I got one more here. I feel like this one will.
I got no idea.
Tyler, you got one hint for us out there?
A hint?
Or a guess, I should say. Sorry, I was trying to make.
I mean, I have a guess, but I'd like to wait. I don't want to give it away.
I'm gonna take.
Oh, he knows.
All right, let's go.
I know.
I made 3 All-Star games while playing with the Dodgers and had become one of the best outfielders in the game. I was traded to the Atlanta Braves for Brian Jordan as well in a trade.
What a terrible trade. Can I add another hint?
Yes.
He played in a World Series with the Padres.
And he won a Little League World Series.
Did he win it?
Yes, but Gary Sheffield is the answer here with it. Logan Stone is correct. One of the more popular batting stances in wiffle ball to use. One of the more popular ones.
I didn't know he played for that many teams.
A lot. It started out with the Brewers, and then went to the Padres, went to the Marlins, to the Dodgers, to the Braves, to the Mets, to the Tigers, to the
Yankees.
And the Yankees. It went to Yankees, Tigers, Mets. Excuse me. That's right. That finished it out.
I should have gotten that one.
Man, everywhere he went, they won. The Tigers, the Yankees.
He was top. I think he was top 3 MVP. I think he was finished 3rd in MVP in one of the years at the Yankees, and that was like one of his last 5 years there. So it was interesting. It started out as an infielder too. The Padre years were always kind of a weird thought of him on the Padres, right? Like, and then the Marlins ones are kind of odd too. Like, and then he goes.
I can remember him on the Marlins,
but then he goes to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were terrible back then, right? Tyler, like they had like one okay year. And then it was like Eric Young in them and like Eric Karros. It was like kind of a weird team that they had.
Piazza. Their pitching was pathetic and their defense was like Mark Rizolonic at second base. You could depend on a big air every game.
Mark Rizolonic.
That's a name you thought you wouldn't hear on 7th inning stretch.
I did not. Todd Hudley, maybe they traded for him as well. Then here's Sheffield hit his 500th home run.
And he drives one deep down the left field line. Hit it toward the corner, and it's out of here. Gary Sheffield with his 500th career home run. His first as a New York Met, and the Mets have tied the game.
That was his first as a Met.
Yep.
That's cool.
David Wright.
Shea Stadium. Man.
I thought that was gonna. Obviously, that's his 500th over there with it, but Gary Sheffield, I just feel like he's for my era, like just that. I don't know. For me, it was just kind of Tyler. I'm still stunned he's not in the Hall of Fame. I know all that, but it just.
I think the best thing you brought up was the wiffle ball stance. Everybody loves it. Like I know me and you and Casey and Matt Lentzel, that was the number one go-to.
He was a go-to one for sure.
Stage,
he's the reason my dad told me to stop wheeling my bat.
Exactly. There's a story about Gary Sheffield for everybody.
I felt like we used the Mark McGwire one quite a bit too. If we could get to it.
No, yeah, the between the legs.
I feel like the Mark one was on there once in a while when we could get to it. And then randomly Richie Sexton became a popular one for a while as well. But Richard for some reason.
Sex Machine was a beast.
Mo Vaughn was definitely on that list as well. Is definitely on there.
He just didn't hit left-handed, so it's hard to do the lefties.
No, that was for me. That was where that stood. All right, yeah. That was the trivia there with it. All right, here's my flashback video of the week. I thought this was a good one. This guy played for the Giants as well. Let's get Glenn Allen Hill here. This happened about a week. I think this happened on Monday. It would have been on this date here. Glenn Allen Hill at Chicago Stadium in 2000, I believe, was the date. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just see where this ball lands.
Did you just call it Chicago Stadium? It's Wrigley Field.
Like that. The way out of here. Oh, my gosh.
He hit on the rooftops, man.
He hit it onto
Good
the roof
God.
across the street. I have never seen that.
That is ridiculous.
On top of the building.
Over Wrigley Field, into the over the street.
Hey, one of the
out of the
strongest
ballpark.
arms and one of the worst outfielders you'll ever see.
Boom.
That's a quick swing. That's literally from hip to hip.
Yeah, he didn't even look like he came all the way through it.
Wow.
Just, I don't think I've seen a ball hit that far there.
Is the
Ever.
estimation on that home run? It's got to be longer than that.
That's great. Hey, and what's that voice we hear out there? Is that the guy's going to be teaming up again with your with Joe Buck and the Cardinals? Is there some
Yeah,
thinking going on?
that's probably Chip.
What is that?
Play it
what
again.
is that?
Chip Carey.
Huh?
Play it one more time.
Like that. I like the blue shoes better. Way out of here.
Yeah, that's Chip Carey.
Yeah, I thought that was him. So what do you think? You guys, they're like teaming up, right? Something like that. They're back in St. Louis.
Next Friday night on Bally Sports, at least on. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be on the Chicago Network too or not. I know it's going to be on the St. Louis broadcast.
It's not going to be Fox Network, is it?
No, it's Bally. It's our regional. So Joe Buck is coming into town to call the game with Chip Carey for the Cardinals. It's a historic tribute to Harry Carey and Jack Buck.
And Josh, I know I just called it Chicago Stadium, so I can say where did Derek go wrong? It is bad. I was trying to produce. When I'm producing at the same time, I get caught off guard. Right?
I get it, man. I struggle every week on the NASCAR show.
Where did I go wrong? Did I go anywhere else wrong? Did I go somewhere else?
No, I think you were pretty good tonight, man. I think you did a pretty good job. I'll give you a little golf clap since we have the Players Championship this week.
Oh, that's right. We do have the Players Championship this week.
And Rory McIlroy got started his divorce proceedings the day before the tournament started. Thought that was kind of funny.
I bet he plays the best golf of his life.
I hope he does, man. I hope he rakes.
Can't hold those Irish men down.
What a Mother's Day he had. What a Mother's Day.
He forgot to wish his. He forgot to wish his now to soon to be ex-wife happy Mother's Day. He wished his mother happy Mother's Day on that.
Come on, Rory. Have a little respect out there. Have a little respect. All right, Tyler.
Who's more important, your mother or your wife?
That's a whole.
I am not answering that question.
That's a whole different discussion.
I plead the fifth.
That's a whole different one. Tyler, thanks for jumping on seventh inning stretch. It was good having you on for again, especially for the full episode this week. Appreciate it. Josh, another good show
fun
here.
When we agree every once in a while.
It is always good.
It is fun.
It was good. It was good hitting all the standings, kind of checking on the power rankings there. And then Josh, that was a good question there at the playoffs. That was kind of a fun one to touch on as well. So check us out on Variety Sports Network. We'll be on every Thursday here. That's the plan moving forward. So for Josh Edwards, who's got a NASCAR thing going on Sundays, be sure to check that as well. Tyler McGurk doing his Sports with Slur thing as well over there, posted some good stuff over there on X. Brandon, our CEO, doing some good things here on VSN, working hard. The man's doing graphics, all this good stuff, Twitter accounts, all that good stuff, X accounts, whatever you call it. He's doing a great job over there with it. So a lot of good things happen over here at Variety Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in again to seventh inning stretch here. So for Tyler McGurk, for Josh Edwards, I am Darren Breyer. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.